crowd was there with the jury. That crowd took the pictures. They witnessed what happened, and they told you as a jury that this was wrong, that this should not be happening. We have a 9-year-old girl who said, just get up off of him. I definitely think that was very impactful. And frankly, I believe that those witnesses who are hearing this verdict are happy. They understand that they did their part in this process. They came forward, they told the truth, they were listened to, and I think it's going to affect the entire judicial system, and it will have an incredible impact on the world. Here we are seeing finally that individuals are being held individually accountable for their actions, not just passing laws, and those are important, not just having police reform, and that is important, but actually having a police officer being held personally accountable for having...
We are interrupting our newscast, the ABC special report right now in the wake of the George Floyd decision on the Derek Chauvin murder trial.
Yeah, and of course we'll continue to monitor what ABC News is doing right now, but we want to get to what's happening in San Antonio and across the country.
First up, what you're looking at right now is live, the mural of George Floyd in San Antonio. Just a short while ago, Derek Chauvin, a former Minneapolis police officer, was found guilty on all charges.
Yeah, here's a list of the charges that he faced. Again, he was found guilty on all of these: second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter.
Nationwide, everyone was expecting a verdict, and a guilty verdict was hinted at because the jury did not take very long to come back with it, basically one day.
Yeah, you could hear yelling, people very happy in the streets of Minneapolis. We have not seen a big reaction in San Antonio as of yet, but right now, this is when the verdict was read in the courtroom. Take a listen.
Verdict, count 1. Court file number 27, CR 20-12646. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, juror foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury foreperson 019.
Very little reaction from former officer Derek Chauvin there as the guilty verdicts were read. And this is a live picture from Minneapolis itself this afternoon. There were a lot of people that were at the Cup Foods, which is the convenience store where this incident took place. A lot of people had gathered there in what is a shrine and a mural in Minneapolis to George Floyd. Many of them with visible reactions to exactly what happened.
A shout actually went up in the crowd, followed by even some people collapsing to their knees, thanking God for the jury making that decision. Again, Derek Chauvin found guilty on all charges, and we will not know anything about his sentencing for the time being. In the meantime, we're basically just all bracing across the country to figure out what is the reaction going to be nationwide. When this incident occurred last year at around this time, there were widespread riots and protests in the streets. It went on for months. And this is the one thing that everybody's been worried about. The police chief came out with a statement yesterday, I believe, here in San Antonio, saying that they're monitoring the situation. And again, so far, we've heard no word of any reaction in the streets of San Antonio.
Chauvin's conviction in George Floyd's death will continue to reverberate in the community and across the country as we saw Chauvin handcuffed, led from the courtroom immediately following the verdict. His sentencing will be in a couple of months.
World News Tonight is going to continue the coverage of the case, the verdict, the reaction from across Minneapolis and across the nation. We here at KSAT 12 will be covering what's going on in San Antonio. And of course, the president and his staff are expected to make a comment as well this evening. We will, of course, be carrying that either live on our air or on KSAT.com.
Yep, we got you covered on air and online. To other news this afternoon, though, a Bexar County grand jury has indicted the mother of a missing toddler on a tampering with evidence charge. The charge comes after Delaney Chavez, quote, intentionally and knowingly concealed a child, her son, baby James Chavez. Baby James was reported missing in early February. He has not been found yet. Tampering with evidence, a third-degree felony charge punishable by 2 to 10 years in prison and a possible fine of up to $10,000. The case is being prosecuted by the Family Violence Division in the 144th District Court. She's expected to stand trial later this year.
Now that thousands of young migrants are in shelters like the one at Freeman Coliseum's Expo Hall, where do they go from here? The family reunification process taking some time, especially if they're not joining their parents in the U.S. Relatives and sponsors have been very carefully screened, or are trying to be very carefully screened and vetted. The government says, depending on the child's situation, it could take weeks before they're able to leave the shelters. Jesse Deollado now with more on why this process can be slower than many people would want.
More than 1,900 young migrant boys, who were among the thousands of others at the border, are now here at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. A spokesperson says the number of those reunified with family members or sponsors has gone from only 1 a week ago to 13 as of Tuesday.
You want to expedite it, but at the same time, you got to make sure they go into the right hands of family members.
But with the government's 60-day contract ending May 30th,
we are looking at providing more case managers so they can try to move the kids out.
A spokesperson says hiring case managers is ramping up. As of now, she says, the ratio of case managers to migrant youth, 1 to 17. The goal is 1 to 15. Yet it said many families may be reluctant to come forward. Under the Trump administration, undocumented sponsors were given orders to appear before an immigration judge for deportation.
So obviously that had a great chilling effect on people coming and asking for the child's custody.
Attorney Lance Curtright says the real problem is Title 42, implemented when the pandemic began. Curtright says the Biden administration still won't allow their parents to enter the U.S., forcing them to send their children to come by themselves.
If their parents are in Mexico, then there's no one here to claim custody of them, right?
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
We want to take a look now at the daily COVID-19 numbers in Bexar County. Metro Health is reporting 119 new infections, bringing the total number of cases to date to 213,677. One new death to report, bringing the total number of deaths in Bexar County to 3,323. 236 people are in the hospital right now with COVID-19. 93 are in the ICU and 38 are on ventilators. Meantime, there's more fallout for troubled Johnson & Johnson's coronavirus vaccine. We're now learning that the FDA has ordered that no more vaccines be produced at the Baltimore facility that had some issues. This comes after the CDC paused the rollout as it looks into reports of severe reactions to the vaccine. Steve Nanez has a closer look.
Another setback for Johnson & Johnson. Emergent Biosolutions has paused any new manufacturing of the J&J coronavirus vaccine at this Baltimore plant at the request of the FDA, but the company did not say why. The move comes as the administering of Johnson & Johnson shots remains on hold in the U.S. The CDC and the FDA making the decision due to the potential for rare but life-threatening blood clots.
These have been a handful of cases, not an overwhelming number of cases.
Federal health officials revealing they originally considered simply issuing a warning about this, but settled on pausing the rollout. Now the CDC director says they're investigating before deciding how to proceed.
We are working through and adjudicating them and verifying whether they do, in fact, reflect a true case. And that will be the work of the CDC this week, as well as the FDA.
Meanwhile, President Joe Biden's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, predicts Johnson & Johnson's vaccine will come back on the market with restrictions or warnings by Friday.
I don't want to get ahead of the CDC and the FDA and the advisory committee, But I would imagine that what we will see is that it would come back, and it would come back in some sort of either warning or restriction.
In an email statement, Emergent Biosolutions said the inspection is ongoing and it's working with the FDA and Johnson & Johnson to strengthen the supply chain. In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
Now, this is the second major issue at that Baltimore plant involving the J&J shot. In March, Johnson & Johnson said it found a quality problem at that plant. Production was paused after a mix-up, which actually ruined 15 million doses of the vaccine.
Pre-K enrollment across our area dropping this school year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and one local school district hoping to get more students back. At Somerset ISD, pre-K enrollment is in full swing. They've created flyers and posted on social media about enrollment starting. At BARRERA Veterans Elementary, last school year they had 89 students enrolled in pre-K. This year, they only had 49. The principal at BARRERA Veterans Elementary School explains why she believes pre-K is so important.
They become exposed to basic learning like numbers and letters and shapes, but more importantly, they also develop the social and emotional skills, and they learn how to get along with other children.
Other districts in our area also saw a decline in pre-K. At Northeast ISD last year, they had 1,926 students enrolled. This year, they had 1,181. Today, both sides rested in the civil lawsuit filed over the Sutherland Springs church shooting. After hearing closing arguments today, U.S. District Judge Xavier Rodriguez will decide whether or not the government had some blame for the shooting that left 26 people dead. Though it might be several weeks before there's a ruling. Several family members of victims from the 2017 shooting filed the lawsuit saying there was a failure by the U.S. Air Force, saying they didn't enter shooter Devin Kelly into the National Background Check database after a domestic violence conviction. The government argues even if he would have been placed in that database, Devin Kelly still could have committed that shooting.
We're going to return now live to Minneapolis, where that decision just came down from the jury. Derek Chauvin guilty on all counts. A big reaction at the memorial area. This is in Minneapolis, downtown Minneapolis, where people have gathered to peacefully protest, we hope. We did get a reaction from a number of people in government. We're awaiting the president's response, but the local DA, Joe Gonzalez from Bexar County, did issue the following statement. He said, quote, George Floyd's final 9 minutes and 29 seconds in handcuffs on the ground, begging for breath, and his mother became part of our national consciousness. Like millions of Americans, I was shocked and angered by what I saw. What started as a routine interaction between police and a man accused of a nonviolent crime turned into a national tragedy before our eyes, unquote.
Yeah, I also understand that at some point the mayor of San Antonio made a statement as well that he tweeted out. The police chief yesterday talked about the fact they didn't know of any imminent problems in San Antonio, but that they were ready just in case. And we have seen a huge police presence downtown. A lot of people waiting for this verdict, not sure what the reaction would be. And right now we know of no rioting. We just know people are gathering. They were gathering to hear the verdict. It seems as if this looks like downtown Minneapolis, maybe outside City Hall there, where they are also gathering. And it seems like many of them are gathering more in memory of George Floyd than to do anything violent right now.
As for what goes forward from this point, the District Attorney Joe Gonzalez continued in his statement to say that while this was a trial about the actions of a single officer, this must serve as a moment for us to create the kind of change that restores trust between the community and the criminal justice system. And that is being echoed throughout the country.
Absolutely. And as we continue to show you a live look from downtown Minneapolis here, we also have crews that are out in downtown San Antonio as well. And I believe we have a statement from the mayor right now. Ursula, if you want to read what the mayor tweeted out.
Yes, just moments ago, Mayor Ron Nirenberg tweeted, quote, justice was served by the jury's decision and the verdict properly holds Derek Chauvin accountable for his actions. But the verdict doesn't bring George Floyd back or end the heartbreak suffered by his family. Our nation still has a long way to go in the quest for true social and racial justice. Today's decision is an important and positive step in the right direction, end quote.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with weather and sports and perhaps more reaction to the verdict in the Derek Chauvin case after this. We have continuing to monitor what was happening both with ABC and here locally. Right now, I believe the George Floyd family is reacting to the verdict out of Minneapolis.
Williams, who's George Floyd's nephew, but was more like a son to him. They call him Woo back in the Third Ward. Woo, 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 woo. We have Keita Floyd, Philonis's wife. We have, oh, where Terrence at? Terrence, New York, where you at? We got Terrence Floyd, his sisters who are not with us, but we should absolutely acknowledge Bridget Floyd, who hails from North Carolina, his sisters Latanya and Jaja, who hail from Houston, Texas. We have his cousins, Sharita McGee, Tidra McGee, and Tara Brown. And we have the mother of his daughter, Gianni Floyd. We have Roxy Washington, and we have Gianna. And so I'll make some brief remarks, and then we're going to have Attorney Stewart. Oh, Angela, cousin Paris. Angela, cousin Paris, and his uncle and Uncle Selwyn, Vince. Any more Floyd family? I know it's a big crew. AD, the man he came to Minneapolis with, and Adara. So I'll make some brief remarks, and then we're going to have Attorney Stewart and Attorney Ramanucci make some brief remarks, and then we're going to hear from this family, and we're going to try to leave here today knowing that America...
We're going to monitor this as it comes in. Ben Crump clearly joined the Reverend Al Sharpton to his right there, talking about members of George Floyd's family. Let's listen to this for a moment.
For a moment to proclaim this historical moment, not just for the legacy of George Floyd, but for the legacy of America. The legacy of trying to make America for all Americans, so that George Floyd's victory and America's quest for equal justice under the law would be intertwined. America, let's frame this moment as a moment where we finally are getting close to living up to our Declaration of Independence, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equally, that they're endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that amongst them are life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Where America, that means all of us. That means black people. That means Hispanic people. That means Native people. That means Asian people. That means all of us, America. We frame this moment for all of us, not just for George Floyd. This is a victory for those who champion humanity over inhumanity, those who champion justice over injustice, those who champion morals over immorality. America, let's lean into this moment, and let's make sure, Reverend Al, that this moment will be documented for our children yet unborn as they continue on the journey to justice, knowing that the blood of George Floyd will give them a trail to find a way to a better America, a more just America, A more just America where Breonna Taylor gets an opportunity to sleep in peace at night without the police busting in her front door. A more just America where Ahmaud Arbery gets to run free and not be lynched for jogging while black. A more just America where Jacob Blake and Anthony McClain and Walter Scott and Laquan McDonald and all these other black men, Terrence Crutcher, who was shot in the back while running away like Dante Wright was just a week ago, because for some reason, black men running away from the police is more dangerous than young white men who commit mass murders and walk towards the police with an assault weapon, Reverend Bryant, like Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Wow. America, let this be the precedent. Yes. Let this be the precedent where we live up to the high ideals and the promises when we say liberty and justice for all. Those sun-kissed children are included in all. Those children who overcame slavery, the Middle Passage, the Dred Scott decision, Plessy v. Ferguson, Jim Crow, and his much smarter, wiser son, Jim Crow Jr. Esquire. Let this be the precedence where we overcome systematic racism and oppression, and that we are a better people and we will leave our children a better world.
Ben Crump.
That's Benjamin Crump, who is the attorney for the George Floyd family, basically saying that this is a historical moment and that he hopes that this is something that history and America leans into in the future.
A very passionate and emotional statement from the Floyd family legal team. I'm sure there's many more people who are going to be speaking there, but we're going to go to a break now because we do have weather to tell you about. We'll be right back.
It's going to be a lot of weather packed into 45 seconds. If you have a DVR, I suggest you rewind and then pause as we go through this, and especially watch at 6. Cold front moving in right now. It's going to make it a little cool tomorrow morning. Widespread 40s to start the day. By the afternoon, we're looking at high temperatures near and into the 70s for highs. Leon Springs 71, Elmendorf about 73, Lackland area 75. Even cooler on Thursday. A high of only 67, cloudy with some sprinkles as well. Also becoming gusty. It's not windy now, but just a couple of hours and it's going to be gusty out there, and get ready for a sunny day tomorrow near 70.
As we leave you tonight, a live picture from downtown Minneapolis. Derek Chauvin found guilty on all charges in the death of George Floyd.
A lot more coming up on this on World News Tonight. We'll see you next at 6.